Good evening, everyone. It's 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday evening. It means one thing, Jane. It must be spiritual talk.
It must be. Wonderful.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you back, Jane.
Oh, my goodness. It is so great to be back. It was, I actually I missed the show and I missed the audience, but I did watch. I watched from behind the scenes. I did watch. Yes. So I was there.
Is the building work all sorted now?
No, it is not. It is not. So
should we not go there?
Yeah, don't go there. It's been going on for almost a year. It's not good.
Well, it's great to be back, everyone. It's lovely to see everybody. We've got loads of people coming in already. So, Hi, Sarah Coe. Hi, Paul Cook and Carol Phillips.
Hi, Rhonda. Nice to see you. And Jamie Lee. Nice to see you as well. So today's guest is...
Well, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Before you go there, because people might say, what is that down the bottom there? Soul Light, Spiritual Talk. So should we do that? Should we talk about
Yes, let's do that. Yes.
So the reason why we got that, guys, we are going to relaunch Spiritual Talk at some point. Still going to keep the name Spiritual Talk, but Soul Light, because we're now on Spotify and SoundCloud with our podcasts. And you've got a choice of audio or video on there. And we're going to go into lots of other podcasts for people. And it's a great way of connecting with our back catalogue as well. But there were so many spiritual talks, Jane, wasn't there?
There is.
Gospel spiritual talks. There's so many. So we wanted to add a little bit of something. So we've come up with help from many people, Soul Light Spiritual Talk. Okay. Hopefully you like it, guys. Hopefully it's positive and people like it.
Yeah. Maybe people can comment on what they think of the new name. Does it resonate with you? How does it make you feel?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, people might have seen over the last weeks or so, and I hope Facebook are not listening, we have added stars. We're not asking you to give stars, guys. We give up our time for free because we believe we're passionate about what we do, and we believe the information that people come on and share is of a lot of value, especially for those that are really interested in what we do. So the stars, how that works is basically if you donate a star, Facebook get a percentage of that. And I'm not sure how much the stars cost. I know they're only cents or pence if you're in UK. But once you start to donate the odd star, the algorithms work. Okay, so we're not necessarily after lots of stars, just one star, and it really gets out there. It's a bit similar to when you share, because Facebook think they're going to make a lot of money. So that's why we do stars, guys. Okay, we're not here to make money. We're here because we've given up our time to create this program, to get the information out there. And we hope you enjoy it, of course. And the other thing we should say, tonight we're going to work differently, Jane, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah, we're not sure how it's going to go yet.
Nope.
So we're going to put the live link on around 9 o'clock for you guys to come in. And this week we're going to work with different aspects of mediumship over the next few weeks. And this week we're going to work with color. So we're going to get you guys to sit and tune into a color that you feel connects to you. And then we want you to come on and give us the color and we'll tune into you. Okay. We'll give you a little mini reading and see what comes up and see how that works. And color is really important in mediumship. So it'll be an interesting experiment to see how that goes.
It will be, for sure.
All right, I'm going to stop waffling, Jane.
Okay, come on. We have a guest. Okay, so I am so happy that this guest has decided to join us because she is a personal friend of mine. I'm super excited. So Teresa Klan, she is an expert in many fields who weaves together threads of multi multi-disciplinary, I can't say that word, modalities. I've practiced it, I can't say it. Gathering over the decades of teachings and experiences guided by spirit. She does Akashic records. She is a healer. She does Reiki. She talks to angels, ascended masters. She does it all. So let's.
Before you recently had a reading with her as well.
I did on Monday. I had a reading with her. It was called Bringer. She's known as the Bringer of the Dawn. Okay. And I've never experienced anything like that. She gave me full body goosebumps multiple times.
Okay.
And told me information about me that I didn't even know, which is not uncommon. So yeah, it was really good. So
let's get Teresa in. I'm sorry,
yeah,
Teresa.
Yeah, like
waiting patiently. Good evening, Teresa. Welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Hi, Jane. Thank you, Jane, and everyone for being here today.
Well, I am very happy that you decided to take the leap of faith and come onto the show. You're my first friend to be on the show, so I'm really excited that you're here with me. You're such a beautiful person.
Oh. Thank you. I hear that and receive it, and just back to you and Paul, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I kick off the show?
Yes.
Teresa? I'm just going to go straight into it. Bringer of the Dawn. Please explain, because there'll be so many people think, okay, forgive me for saying this, that's a big statement. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm really interested. Does that link into the illumination you had?
Yes,
Brilliant.
It does. It very much does. And that might be a good place to start.
Yeah.
People are interested in stories, as am I, and especially our turning points, or when we really started our healing journey. And mine started in the early 1960s and has been a constant thread throughout my life. And it's like I'm getting back there after all the decades of everything I lost. May I share this story now?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Great. I was on the Sunshine Coast here in the west coast of Canada with a group of friends, and we were playing that childhood game, Kick the Can, when you run around and hide and seek. So we were doing that, and I was running, maybe 5 or 6 years old, and then I stopped, and I couldn't move a muscle. And it was like, oh, this is interesting. What's happening? And then suddenly this huge bright light came down and just infused me, the area. I've never noticed it before. And it is well described in a song lyric, which is the light looked like to me, and I knew it to be like 1,000 crystal swans in a sky of suns.
Wow.
And just angel bumps.
So did you have at that particular time, you as a child of like 5 or 6 years old, was you not frightened?
No, and I could tell you why, right?
Okay.
Because during this time, I had nothing to attach it or ascribe it to. It was a total unknown, so fear would have been a normal response, and maybe that would have been what I did, as an adult. However, at the same moment, I felt this bathing me from the inside out. I received like a mote, like a download.
Yeah.
And I'm still unpacking it in a way all these decades later, right? There was things that I knew immediately. And one of them is that the universe is light and love.
Yeah.
And a benevolent place to be. And that creator, great mystery, God, whatever word you're comfortable with, source, 0 point, quantum wave fluctuation field, that it wants to support the best expression of us, right?
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's like a evolution on that very, very grand macroscopic level. And I also knew that we were all connected, that There was no real difference between me and you, or what, the tree or the rock, distinctions, yes, but differences, no. I just sensed this beautiful unity consciousness. I was part of something massive, and I knew whatever was happening on the world here was just like a flash in the pan, and there's so much more going on in realms that we can't, normally sense or tap into, right?
Do you think, Teresa, as well, being the age you was more open to perceive and receive that? I hear so many children that have really unusual experiences around about that age because maybe their heart's more pure. You haven't had the sort of programming from society, etc.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right with that there, right? There's more to the story, of course, as we all have, right?
Yeah.
The other things I can share is that because we are all the same, we are all equal, it didn't occur to me, like I didn't understand why people would mistreat others because didn't they know they were just hurting and harming themselves?
Yeah.
So that could be a segue into, a whole other aspect, right?
Yeah.
Of what happened. And that time didn't exist. And I also knew that if I wanted anything in that moment, and as a child, maybe an ice cream cone, or Jane, I think I said a fudgicle, just
yes,
what you want at that age, right? I knew it would manifest for me. I just knew it, like bang, just like that. However, I didn't need for anything because I was already part of everything. So I already was the fudgicle or the ice cream cone or the teddy bear or whatever it happened to be, right? And essentially I was home. I knew I was home. And then the experience stopped. And I thought, oh, how interesting, how cool. I guess everybody knows that, and I'm the one that's catching up.
Yeah.
So went on and continued the game of kick the can, and life went on from there.
So did you feel different, or how did you feel different from before the illumination came to after the illumination came?
I felt there was more love within my being and more light within my being. However, with that being said, with the caveat, I have very few memories of the first 10 years of my life. Just perhaps past life things, but family of origin, events as well, right? But it was constant. And, even though when things very unpleasant happened, I still felt that grace, what a Unitarian minister called as grace. And I knew I was connected, and things might be pretty messed up here. And I didn't understand any of it, what was happening here. But in spirit, I'm always fine. I'm always will be fine. And essentially, grace truly was my saving grace.
That's wonderful.
That is beautiful. So, did you know from an early age, though, Teresa, did you have any kind of other experiences that were of a similar nature, or yeah?
Yeah, I did have one prior to this. And this is fascinating. Like, what is consciousness, right? So I was sitting in
absolutely. Consciousness is just, even today, they can't explain consciousness, how it's created.
Fair enough. Now, this story is interesting. I was sitting in a high chair in the kitchen in the home, right? In our family of origin home. And the doors were open, the sun was shining, the birds were singing. So it would have been summertime, and I'm a Pisces born in March. So let's say I was a year and a half old, because I was clearly a baby, and I was sitting in my baby chair waving a spoon, and I was so tuned in to the three people around me, right? My mother, my sister, my sister's friend, and they each had these emotions, and they were having these thoughts, and I was just aware of what they were each experiencing, kind of in fine detail. Even visually, I remember all that. But what is really interesting is that I wasn't perceiving the scene from my baby eyes, even though my body was all animated. I was like up there looking down
Wow.
and seeing, but I remember my baby self noticing, but I didn't know what that was, right? I didn't have a clue. So I was in two places at the same time, right? So I guess that would be what Edgar Mitchell would call a non-local event.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Very down to earth, a very non-local event. Effectively, you're aware of other dimensions whilst being in the physical body.
Yes, at a very, very young age, 1.5, maybe 2.5, but I looked tiny, right?
Yeah.
There was another thing that happened more in my young adulthood. Would you like to hear
Yes,
that?
please. Yes, please.
Life was good. I was at home, couch, cat, my journal, my cup of tea. It was my happy place. I nested once a week for self-care for me. And I was just journaling along. And then again, suddenly, bang, I was out of my body and I went way far away from the community I was in to another community. And I ended up landing at one of my family's homes because I recognized it. I was looking around and, oh, there's the house and bushes and the neighbor's place. And I could feel it. I had bare feet in the bed, of course. So where I went, my feet were also bare and I could feel like the dew, and there was like an alder tree. I could feel the branch and all that. And then, as the seconds or whatever minutes ticked on, I realized, oh, wait a second, that house is a different color now. And those bushes are different than what I remember when I was living there. And then I realized that I was in two places at the same time, but also two different times at the same time. And again, I felt home. It was just felt so natural to be there. And just an interesting point, my sister had a cat way back then, not when I did this. And the cat looked at me and it was walking toward me, kind of looking at me. And then it backed away and turned around and walked away. So cats do see things.
You've had some really interesting out-of-body or interdimensional experiences. Are you aware? So, just to give us some context, I know an old lady that would not even connected to mediumship, and she was in her 70s when she was telling me, and you just would not expect this from this little old lady. She said, "Oh yeah," she said, "whenever I found conflict in my life, all my life," she said, "I found myself out of my body, looking down at the situation," which is really interesting. So many people have unusual experiences, some of it through fear they won't share. Thank you first for sharing. You've had quite a few, Teresa. And did you get a sense of you're going to be working in a special way, or just that you just thought maybe it was normal that you were having these experiences?
I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Like, young. Oh, everyone knows this. I'm the one that's the cotton-headed ninny muggins catching up. Right? However, my sense of it not being special or me not being special was very much woven in with my experiences growing up, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't trust myself. I heard messages like, oh, we didn't want you as a child. You were a mistake. And some, you are not even human. Like, just these things that would come from people. So I learned not to trust myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to go into details, of course, but just unkind messages. And I soak them in as my stories, right? Because of the fracturing that happened due to family events, right? And that is what really got me on my healing path. Even with all this beautiful light experience, which continued to happen numerous times when I was growing up, it wasn't just a one-off, right? I always sensed that grace there, and it was there. And even with those deep, deep wounds,
yeah,
I knew I had work to do, and I knew, that light experience was really nice. I kind of like that. I think that's something helpful.
Yeah.
And so light, gee, maybe it's something spiritual. So maybe I should look into spiritual things to help me heal. And so I did. And I learned so much. It was like a reclaiming. It was going back to that experience, right? And a long, scenic route full of what I call bonus lessons, the ones I could have avoided if I paid attention to what was going on, let alone tune into my inner dowsing system, which is my physical body.
Do you know, I can't believe we've been talking for 20 minutes already. Where's that time? I kind of feel like I've gone into another void anyway.
I know, me too. Me too.
So we have got so many great questions coming towards you, Teresa. Deborah, no, you're not weird, by the way, Deborah. What we do is so what is weird anyway? What is strange? So I'm sorry if you can hear feedback. There might be someone said there's a male voice. It could be me though. So I'm not sure if that's my end with my broadband. I do apologize for that. The engineers have been in trying to fix it this week. But can we quickly go back? There's one here. There's a Melinda wants to say beauty personified. If I can get my teeth in. Just talking about you.
My friends and I always discuss, when Teresa's not with us, we're not talking behind her back, but we're not. We love you to pieces, but her energy when she's in person, and I hope people can feel it radiating online, but she feels like she's on a mission. She just doesn't get up, go to work. Well, no, she doesn't do that, but she just doesn't do the daily grind. It's like she's on a mission. It's quite fascinating. Even when we go for hikes, she's always on a mission, and she's always, connecting with the trees. And I'm going to maybe embarrass you a little bit here, but I see her like go off to the trees and she says a prayer, or, she's just very elegant with her energy. See, there we go. Proved it right there. But it's like she is on a mission, that she's here to do, I want to say she's here to do good, but she's here to do better than good. Like she is here to save humanity. I don't know. There's just a feel to you. Yeah. I'm just going to pat my own self on the back for that one,
Yeah.
So she's just, her energy is just different, but good different.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We're feeling that already. So
awesome.
Lou has asked, when you had your original, hi Lou, when you had your original illumination, did your little friends around you become aware of it?
No, not at all. I was by myself in the woods, and I didn't share it with anybody because I thought everyone knew it, right, already. So there was no point in talking about it. And also in the early 60s, this was not a common subject of conversation. Yeah, right? I had no guides, teachers, mentors. I wasn't even existed or accepted into my family of origin. So Michael Valentine definitely felt like a stranger in a strange land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great question there from Rhonda as well. Yes. Can you see that one, Jane?
So Rhonda asks, why do you think this happened?
I think there's many layers to that question, and thank you for asking that, because it does require me to dial in. So I really appreciate that, Rhonda. I think on one part is I needed to have a decent chance to survive in this world, okay? And whether it was I'm a star being with a pristine past, incarnating on Earth, just to help me. But I don't think so. I think I came in with a lot of karmic baggage, and that needed to be cleared out of me. And maybe, like everyone says, this is a really important time on our planet, yes? And so I needed to be dialed in to healing, right? Which means cracking wide open, right? Letting in the light and then going from there. And I think too, I have some modicum of courage, and I'm not sure where that comes from, but I opened up a metaphysical store in the early 90s, and, like a redneck kind of fishing, mining kind of town, right? like, oh my gosh, and I also commercial fished and picked mushrooms and had a nursing background and all that. But, Rhonda, I think what's essential here is we all have the same light. We all are, I think of it as like holograms or fractals from creator, our soul, our higher self, into the avatars we have, here. And so therefore we are divine, right? Everyone shines the light. It's just claiming it is all, right? And maybe that's part of why I'm here, just to remind people of that, because I know what it's like to not have the light.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people out there that spend their life in darkness. So to have somebody come to them and talk about this light, this creator, it might spark something within them, or you would hope anyway. Mm-hmm. So the more people are connected, the better it will be eventually.
Yeah.
There's a great, Carol's put a eureka moment. A eureka moment. She's talking about your original experience.
Right. What I call like that color, that light, I call it brilliance with a capital B. Carol, is that what you're referring to? Is my eureka moment when?
Yeah, potentially. I'm so sorry, Teresa. Some of these questions are out of sync. We're having to come back to them because we've been talking loads. So apologies, guys, if they're slightly out of sync. Okay, we've got can you see the one from Deborah as well?
Yes, I can. So Deborah asked, do spirits know, like your loved ones who've passed, if someone down here is treating you like beep?
Not great? Yeah.
They could, but they're not like angels and omnipotent and everywhere, omnipresent. In my view of cosmology, I think we can have multiple lives at the same time. So let's say my father, just to use an example, the bulk of his soul essence could be busy doing something else, right? Like in the Bardo states, learning, sifting through things and finding out what needs fine-tuning. A part of him could be living right next door to me in an apartment.
That's a great thing that you've brought that up, because that is a question within there, Teresa. So do you believe that souls exist on many levels?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things I do is help. It's like shadow work. Whenever we have a strong emotion that's unresolved, and it can be a big T trauma or little T trauma, a part of us fractures off, right? And it becomes separate from spirit, from the divine. And I believe that's the separation is what creates mental illness, physical wobbles, anything that goes sort of along that. And I'm still doing that. We all have dozens of these so-called personas that hijack our energy. And recently, with a school I'm gratefully studying with, I discovered that there was a persona having a not helpful impact in my life here, as you guys see me, on the 9th dimension.
Right.
So absolutely, absolutely. I think we are we're intra-dimensional, all of us. Right?
So, yeah. So you've gone off and gone, for some people, you'd have gone ninth dimensional. They won't know what that is. So can I be the stupid one and say, sorry, can you explain ninth dimension?
Right. Absolutely. We are so much more than our physical selves. We know that. And let's say just moving my hand here, okay? What I'm actually doing, and science backs this up, is I am dissolving the molecules here and reforming them where I'm going. And I'm
like in a quantum thing. So what is it? The thought, then the action.
Yes. For instance, intention plus frequency equals manifestation. Right. Okay. So what is keeping all this together is like the quantum field, right? Yeah. There's all different, names for it. And that is not limited. It's just like the quantum field is here, and here's Teresa, and here's planet Earth. It can't be. The universe is one whole thing, like a hologram. Was it William Blake to see, something in a grain of sand, the universe?
Oh, yeah.
So, the 9th dimension, it's almost like kind of like a roadmap, but in a way, with respect, that part doesn't matter to me where it is, right? It's me regaining my wholeness, me being able to experience myself in a new and different way by connecting with parts of me that maybe I left behind. So I'm sorry for saying that, because of course that's confusing to people. That too is a fabulous question.
It's not that it's confusing. I think it's more fearful, because you're and I know exactly where you're going with this, but the problem is when you talk about interdimensions, I know some of the early pioneers, I think it's Blavatsky, oh gosh, Ledbetter, and a few other pioneers that talked about the dimensions and the levels. And I think we're going back, oh gosh, a long way. They talked about, I can't, was it Madame Blavatsky? I can't remember. They talked about so many different levels within the spirit realm. Again, the word spirit realm, you know, do we think there is a spirit world, or is there just, like you said, this quantum level of existence that binds all these potentially, as another word, parallel universes together? But my question to you is, does it really matter? Because we're living a human existence as well. So sometimes people worry about all these phrases and terminology that we use. It can, we'll get phrased as being crazies, basically. You know, you're off with the fairies, but actually none of it really matters. What really matters is being centered and being yourself and being connected. And you said something really beautiful earlier about expressing yourself through your heart.
Yeah.
About expressing that pure love. But it is so difficult. I mean, you come across such a wonderful, you've got such a wonderful energy, and it's so difficult to kind of get people. Where am I going with this, Paul? I'm waffling on. I'm so sorry. I could go off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But I'm really passionate about this because it's such a difficult thing to explain what we're explaining here. And language is so limiting because so many prejudices, and it's really hard for us to kind of grasp that unless you've, I mean, I've had an out-of-body experience, Teresa. I felt creator, I felt going home, I felt the spirit world, I felt other dimensions. But people, you know, if I try to explain that like, you know, I felt, you know, spirit used to say to me, always return home. I felt that. I understand that love. So trying to express this can be really difficult, but there's so many different dimensions on which our loved ones and the soul, I should say, rather than our loved ones. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we, about existing on many, many different levels. And I don't know where I'm going with this point, but I'm trying to get to, I feel like Ronnie Corbett now. There was a famous comedy series. This guy used to sit in his chair and it'd take hours to get to his point. I feel like I'm Ronnie Corbett. I've reinvented Ronnie Corbett. But the point I'm trying to make is people shouldn't be fearful of what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, truly. Maybe for me, the knowledge of the awareness of the potential existence of a dimension could be helpful for me personally, right? Otherwise, it's just brain candy. And all brain candy does is like clutter our channels, right? Which is a distraction, maybe a beautiful distraction, like, oh, what a pretty mug, right? But it is a distraction, kind of like making aromas. It's a distraction, right? What's real is my reality. And that's, what is it? Course in Miracles talks about how we have a change of how we experience of ourselves. That's the miracle, right?
Yeah.
That's the miracle. Yeah.
I guess letting go of that, but having those, the programming that we have and allowing ourselves to be in that space to create that is also quite a difficult thing. But sorry, we're going off. We've still got loads of questions to get through, haven't we?
We do. How about this one from Carol? So Carol asks, did you have an angel as a guide before you met the Archangels?
Yes. Well, consciously, I did have one. There was one moment in my life that was very challenging. And honestly, Carol, I was crying, right? It was like, oh no, what's going on? And then my eyes were closed and I saw what I feel was an angel. And this one happened to be really tall. They not all really tall. And she's wearing this lovely, like soft blue robin's egg blue gown, nice, beautiful, smooth hair, much like yours, Jane, like truly, like nice blonde, smooth hair. And then she was held like a circle or a crown in her hand. And she like kind of like bent down and just put it on me, on my head. And then she backed away. And that reminded me of that brilliance experience where part of me was starting to fracture off. It brought me in to my truth, right? That I was still discovering. Yeah. Very, very powerful moment for me, you know, what, 25, 30 years ago, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. Okay, so Rhonda asks, can you actively do this whenever you like, or are you not aware it's happening to you until, sorry. Can you actually do this whenever you like, or are you not aware it's happening until you are, sorry,
at another destination?
Yeah,
I do it all the time. It's like you go blind to it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? So can you actively do this?
Right. Rhonda, if you're asking about the brilliance and the light, because that's part of my Bringer of the Dawn session, yes, I can consciously, deliberately actually do it. If you're referring to the bilocation and the time travel, I don't think so. I think it's only happened a couple of times with me conscious. It does happen when I'm in the dream time, right? Where parts of me go and visit someone, and I popped in a friend's car once when they're driving down the highway, but we know certain types of people, so he was rather okay with it, thank goodness. He didn't drive off into the ditch or anything. And maybe for me, maybe right now it doesn't seem that important to learn to do that deliberately, right? If I knew there was a practical reason, like if I can deliver food to people that are trapped in a mine accident, that would light me up. That would ignite my passion, and I would go there. But truly, because of that brilliance experience of unity consciousness, what lights me up is connecting with people. Like, I love teaching one-on-one. I'm so enjoying being here and connecting, like Paul and you and Jane. That's the juiciness. Everything else can often just be, chocolate sprinkles.
Can I just ask, do you, there's a lovely comment here that I'm going to bring up in a second, but do you have any male guides that speak through you? Because there's been some people have been talking, I'll just bring it up, that there's, Helen says, is it just me, or can anyone else hear her voice changing when she's talking? It makes a male's voice. So do you have a male voice that comes up and out of you that maybe you're not aware of?
Some of the archangels, I get the impression as being very connected with masculinity. Like Archangel Michael is a good example of that, right? Yeah. But as far as specific guides, there's Archangel Uriel.
But speaking through you.
Through me. It could be. I truly don't know. I think, Jane, you and I talked about this the other day. Like, have you ever experienced you're talking with someone and then suddenly you say something that sounds really wise, and you're like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
So that could be, maybe that is, I really appreciate that comment. Thank you, because that for me is worth contemplating. Definitely.
This is a great question from Tanya. Why do you think you were chosen to experience these beautiful wonders? Have you been given a cause as such? Is it something innate within you, or is it something you feel drawn to, or?
I think we can all do this.
Beautiful.
I just might have had more practice in previous lives that primed me for this. whatever it is. It's like people wanting to develop their intuitive abilities. Maybe some people are born, but we can do it. We can all learn how to see auras, right?
Yeah.
And so I think with that being said, I have been so well supportive in many ways with doing what I'm doing. For instance, Paul and Jane, thank you for doing this, because otherwise I couldn't do what I'm doing, right? I think I could have these experiences and let alone share them because of everyone else in the egregor that's being created in this huge morphogenic field that is, the gestalt that is planet Earth, right? And our nearest brothers and sisters in the sky, meaning planets, not beings, meaning planets there. I couldn't do this and be safe and real and honor my truth and be in alignment and do what I'm doing unless I have support. I am just here by the grace of Creator because of everybody else being here doing their part. And they might think it's a small, teeny part, but to someone like me, it is truly essential. It's essential, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask you now, Teresa, just coming off the questions, how do you help people now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Is it healing? Do you read? I know you've got a few things that you do, but essentially, what would you say your biggest aspect of what you do is for people?
I have a couple of favorite things.
Yeah.
One, I just thrive doing Akashic record readings or sessions. And just briefly, my style has been described as shamanistic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like just a reading per se, right? Which is fabulous and in and of itself more than enough. But we're in that person's quantum field. So we can make changes and adjustments. If there's a block, et cetera, do you want the block there, or are you ready to let it go and make sure they get the lesson so it doesn't reoccur, right? No sense doing something if it's just a Band-Aid, make it as deep as we can, right? Sometimes I get a whiff of they're having a connection with some ascended master in some other life. And so I tune in, is it Mother Mary? Is it Kuan Yin? Oh, okay, it's Kuan Yin. And I explain to them, you've had this connection, more to the conversation, but would you like to reignite it as a support for you? And everyone always says yes to that. So that I really enjoy doing. Another thing is I work the psychic fairs, intuitive fairs. I do readings sometimes, but I'm known as a tarot oracle card, person, like, scholar around here. My first tarot deck I got 46 years ago. So there's a lot here. I've learned a lot. And at the booths, everyone asked me very simple questions, right? What's the difference between tarot and oracle? And I tell them, right? I love working with people new to all of this because I've distilled down the gems. And so they don't have to take decades doing what I'm doing. And then I teach them simple things where they could tune into their own intuition. There's all sorts of super simple things to do that in the moment it's effective, it's quick, and it's free.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. I mean, I don't know about you, Jane, but you obviously, Teresa is your friend, but some of the things you've been saying all evening, it kind of really resonates with the shamanic side of things. The soul retrieval. Is that the right word? Soul retrieval, or the fragments of us that are in different places. Yeah, very, very shamanic. Is that something that you're aware of? Do you have this earth connection?
Yes, I feel Gaia knows me very well.
Yeah.
And I nurture that relationship.
Yeah.
I had an Akashic record reading through Teresa a few years ago. I've had probably 3 in my lifetime, and hers was, I can't even explain it. It was so different from all the others. It was very, very shamanic. And even earlier on, I was going to ask you if you resonate with being a shaman. But yeah, you're very good at what you do. Like, you go to the depths of places that maybe few fear to tread.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Jane, for that. I needed to have the courage. My healing was step by step. I first had to get rid of all the gunk and belief systems that I soaked up. And then I had to learn to have the courage to be within my own stillness and accept whatever it is I found here.
Do you know what? On every level, everybody that's practicing is, whether you're a healer, medium, whatever your aspect of what you do is to help, to read, to what you've just said is the most important thing. To heal oneself is so important. The other thing I was going to say, sorry to bang, because I want so much to talk about and we're running out of time. The Akashic records, so it's something that people won't understand. So in my understanding, it's a concept of a great library, and in that library there is a book on everyone's soul life. So I know it's a more of a human concept. I'm not sure whether it's just the soul you connect to or whether there is actually a great library. I don't know. But I don't know, that concept in itself, to be able to tap into someone's, not just this lifetime, but so many lifetimes. And of course, the late, great Edgar Cayce he was a pioneer at that. I think he was the first to offer, wasn't he, Akashic records, if I'm right? I'm not sure. I'm sure, but then I'm sure there was many wise people before that, times gone by, that could tap into that. But so can you give us a little bit about how that works, how you connect into someone's Akashic records? Because from my understanding, that person has to kind of surrender to allow you to go into that space, and you have to have that sensitivity to go into that person's life story as well. This difficult and tricky thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, that it can be. Let me just preface this by saying you do not need to be a psychic or intuitive to learn how to open up your own records. Okay. Having developed skills of being able to have confidence in your own ability, like, oh, I'm seeing an apple, right? That certainly helps, but it's not essential, right?
Yeah.
I see the records however they may appear to me, whether it's mine or if I'm, with somebody else in their records. And as always, of course, we need permission, to do this, work, or else we wouldn't be able to have access, I would think, right? Hopefully, right? And there's so many ways to look at that. Let's see. Okay, for instance, if you're involved in a religion or something, and if you believe when you pass on and leave your terrestrial form, I think if you think you're going to go see the pearly gates, you will. I think if you think you're going to go to the Isle of Avalon, you will. We create our versions of reality every bit as much here as we do on the other realms, right? We just tend not to look there because we're not trained to look there because of all the myriad distractions that happen on the earth. I did a group thing where I opened up a bunch of people's records, and one lady says, well, I didn't really get anything. And she went on to say, all I felt was a bunch of love and light, and it was just so wonderful, and it was just beautiful, but I didn't get anything. Sure. Well, I think, Inga,
I think you did.
I think you did, because you know what? You were feeling you. Your consciousness awareness was aware of itself, perceiving itself, and you could have knocked over with a feather, right? So
Tanya has asked, how can we have an Akashic Records reading? So I'll put your details up here as well, but is this something we can do simply? Is it just literally by asking? Meditation?
There's all sorts of different ways and to do it, right? It's easy to do it. You can learn by books, you can learn online, you can pay for courses, which is kind of nice because you got that personal connection for the hundreds of questions you might have, like someone like me has, right? I do Akashic record readings, and I created a pretty PDF that explains it. So if people want to let me know, it's a page of explanations. It's a page of why you would want to enter your records. It's also a page of considerations for forming questions if you wanted to ask anything specific, because that's an undervalued part of healing, right? Yeah. And also on the back, just some sample questions, and it's not a menu. It's just ideas to foster people's creativity, to see what they might want to ask. Right?
I've put your email on there as well. People can contact you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that.
Yes, thanks.
So we've got loads. Yes, please. Tony's put yes, please. A great question, Rondi. Another great question. How do you start to heal oneself? Where to begin? That's a big one. That one.
That's a big one. I knew something was wrong. I just knew it. I didn't feel 100% comfortable in my own skin. So I suppose someone has to start with being honest with themselves and being open and willing to find out what it might be, right? So if you have chronic pain, sure, go to the doctor and, seek out people that do readings. Whatever is appropriate for you is appropriate for you. For me, it was one step at a time, Rhonda, over decades. I decided to cast a wide net to learn different healing modalities, right? Because I needed healing on those broad topics and those broad whatever areas to explore, right? That was relevant and important for me. What's really worth mentioning is I decided to show up for myself, right? I had no idea where am I going. Just like any hero's journey, like the Fool card, you just kind of step off and I wonder where I'm going. I don't know, but I'm going and I'm just going to keep going. And I kept going and I kept going. And slowly over the years, I started to trust myself and my views. I started to believe in myself. That even though I went to a healing circle, I might have felt out of place and the most damaged person there, I still went. I still showed up. And then I learned I'm worthy. And then sooner or later, I actually have something to contribute. And that goes on to maybe I do belong here, right? Maybe I am a person who deserves to take up space on the planet, right? And that just keeps going and going. And here I am now, right? I know that's a really quick, breakdown, but I hope that helps.
Yeah, because Serena's coming from YouTube. Has there been a difficult experience you've had? I'm assuming that means with your connection or your work, or possibly, I know you talked a little bit about personal experiences, but we could kind of twist that and ask you if you've ever felt when you've been working, and so I've heard some people say this, that I've come away from spirit, or I've come away from, I'm not there. Does that make sense? Have you had those challenges yourself?
Like as far as helping co-create healing for someone, has there been
or sometimes you become disconnected from that because whether you've worked too much or there's a problem within yourself. How many people I know that have come to me going, well, I used to hear spirit all the time and now it stopped and I feel completely cut off. Have you felt that in a kind of professional sense when you've been working?
Yes, and recently that just happened. We are all wired to receive different clairs, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, etc. And it's just within us, right? And so for years, I would say, well, claircognizant, clear knowing, clairsentience, clear feeling, like any empath is well aware of, right? Those were my primary ones. And then as time went on, my clairvoyance or clear seeing started to build, right? And also probably because I became a little more sovereign within myself, I learned that I deserve to have boundaries. So a lot of that clair sentience, the clear feeling, tapered off, right? Also, fairly recently, what was a strong clair, it started, kind of going down a little bit, like the volume was getting turned down just a little bit, not necessarily during sessions, but just when I'm out and about, right? And then I discovered that when I'm doing sessions, I was actually getting the information in a completely different way. I just thought I was becoming better and more practiced with a clair of this sort, but actually my wiring was changed, and that goes hand in hand with our guides rotating in and others leaving. Like any teacher, any healer, they're with you until they're not, until it's prepared to let go. And then suddenly my clairaudience is maybe one of the strongest clairs for me now, right? Rhythms and flows and ebbs and all that. Yeah. And that's what makes it interesting, right? Yeah. Nothing stays the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes I've done up 2 readings I can think of, like with card readings at fairs, where just wasn't quite getting through, right? Just wasn't quite getting through. So of course that happens. That's part of it. Almost like a planet looks like it's going retrograde. It's actually not. It's just the perspective. So if we can take a generous perspective of not judging ourselves and what we might want to attach as failures or not successes, everything is valid. Everything counts. Everything has wisdom to it. If it works, great. If it didn't, great. You can still learn something there.
Yeah.
And for me, when I stopped judging myself, I stopped judging others. And that just brings so much peace to me. And I think when we regain our peace, we regain the best parts of our karma.
Yeah. Yeah. Judgment is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, we've almost, I can't believe we've almost been going for an hour. Okay. We normally ask a big question, because I'm so sorry, Teresa. We've only touched on certain things that you do, and you do so much. So as a parting question, what's next for you?
Sorry if this is cheeky, but I knew you were going to ask that.
Okay, good.
I am a grateful student. Am I allowed to say the name of the place I'm studying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. It's online, and it's called Academy for the Soul. A woman named Crystal Hughes is the one that birthed it into being. She's on a lot of these sorts of shows, right?
Okay.
I'm just finishing up level 3. And this is where I learned, the shadow work, etc., right? This is perfect for anyone who wants to do anything. And once we're finished and we get on, they kind of launch us, right? Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to being launched. I would like to teach like intuitive tips and tricks for the new person. Because you're right, not everyone knows what the 9th dimension is, but everyone deserves to be on the path, right? So it's something, along that lines. What else could I say? My retail business of, being an expert in tarot and oracle cards, etc., that's evolving too. And I'm just starting to get into being a wholesaler myself for local people who could use that support, And what else could I say?
Well, can I ask you quickly, what is the difference between tarot and oracle? Because I believe Stephanie asked earlier, and I didn't. Sorry, Steph, I missed that question.
Oh, that's a great question. I get asked that a lot, and for good reason. Anything can be an oracle, Stephanie. Anything, as long as we have the willingness to allow it to be. An oracle could be anything that somehow gives us inspiration. We feel guidance. We feel an aha, something that's relevant to us. Okay. Yeah. Like seeing a bird that you associated with your departed mother, something like that. Right. So anything can be an oracle. Runes, tarot is an oracle, right? Whatever's spelt out in your alphabet soup bowl, that can be an oracle, right? Oracle can be anything the person wants. So as far as card decks are concerned, you have oracles that feature the moon or animals or angels or whatever. So you kind of maybe start there. And, I like angels. Maybe I'll check into oracle card decks. Now, tarot, on the other hand, is slightly different in that it is a set system 99% of the times. There's what are called the major arcanas, like the magician, high priestess, lovers, etc., right, which are a perfect map for the hero's journey, by the way. And then there's what are called the minor arcanas, like the cups and the swords or whatever they happen to be in that deck. And so tarot's set. If you get one deck and pull the Ace of Cups and another deck and pull the Ace of Cups, it is the same meaning. What bears sharing is that the tarotists, or people who create tarot decks, they have their own unique flair, their own unique flavor to it. And the commentary book that comes with these decks also has its own lens to look through it, right? I think that's good.
That's a very good explanation. Thank you so much, Teresa Klan. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on this evening. We've really enjoyed your energy, and we can feel your energy. Carol's mentioned it as well, and other people that have come on said thank you, and we can't thank you enough, and hope you'll come back on soon.
Oh, thank you. I'm just feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. You're tipping me into overjoy. But
Good.
Thank you so much, Teresa.
From our side, because we're a lot of us are based over here in the UK, and you are in Canada, aren't you?
West Coast in Canada, Pacific time.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, she lives about 10 minutes away from me. So.
Oh, okay. And Jane's got a beautiful view from her back garden. We all know about that as well. The mountains and the river, and it's just
The ocean. The ocean.
Yeah. Not that we're envious. We still live in a very beautiful country.
Yes, you do, for sure. You do.
Yeah. So take care. Thank you, Teresa, for coming on, and we'll see you again very soon.
Okay. Thank you both, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Teresa.
Bye. 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 Oh, that was beautiful.
Yes, it was. She has so much information in her. It's amazing.
And we're going to work now. So, Rhonda's just put she's so jealous as well. Absolutely. Adam's been sharing away hi, Tanya. Tanya was a guest on here as well. So it's good to see you, Tanya. You're on here. If you can make a note of Teresa's her website or her email address, if you want to get an Akashic reading or any information, contact her via her sites. Okay, guys, we're now going to work. So get ready for messages. Do you know what? We forgot to get someone to share, but I think it's your turn this week, isn't it? I've got one tomorrow. I'm doing one for Rhonda's friend tomorrow from last week, and it's your turn this week for the free reading.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm very happy to do one. So
okay. So like I said, we've decided to work in a slightly different way tonight, Jen, to spice things up. I hope you guys enjoy it. We would like you to come in, and we want you to connect to a color. Come in, we'll get you up, and then we'll give you a little mini reading around color. Okay, how does that sound? Yeah, Jackie's put lovely lady. Absolutely.
She is.
Awesome
definitely.
guest. Yeah, awesome. So where are we? So guys, look at the link. You should be able to see the link. If you can see it, come on in. I'll get you guys to connect, and we'll give you a little mini reading. And we're going to work around you guys, around your aura. We're going to connect into your auric field. We're going to look at your colors. Sounds great. I know, Laurie, you said blue, but we want you to come in.
Yes, Laurie.
We want validation. We want to connect to you. So if you can see the link that Adam shared, I have asked him to share. Interestingly, guys, the picture that Adam, my son, comes in on, we took that in a friend's garden. It was actually Debbie's garden from last week. The host from last week. We took a picture, and Adam was doing a selfie like this. And in the actual lens, you can see a monk, what looks like a monk in the background. It freaked him out a little bit, so it's really quite funny. I'm going to copy and I'm going to repaste it. You can't see it. Adam has posted it. So if you look for Adam's name, you should be able to see it. I'm now going to repost it now. Can't get in here. I'm reposting that link. Yeah, I'm now reposting. Can you see that, guys? I've reposted it. It's link isn't working. Try from YouTube or on my page, or try Paul Bannister Medium on Facebook. That should work. All right, guys. It should work. And again, I've posted it again, so it's gone in. Yeah, have a look if you can see Adam's. Adam's should work as well as mine. Unless we're going to be sitting here reading for each. Oh, we've got Carol. She worked it out. Okay, so good evening, Carol. Welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Carol, can you ask Brian to turn the TV down?
Yeah, I've just asked him to turn it off.
Good man.
He was warned.
Is it just that we get feedback? Okay, we got Serena coming in.
Yeah.
We got Steph coming in. We've got Lou coming in. Okay,
wow.
We've got the house. Right. Let's get working. So, Carol, I want you to tune into one particular color that connects to you, and we're going to give you a little mini reading.
Okay.
Evening, Brian. He can't hear us. He's got headphones on.
Yeah, Paul said evening.
Brilliant.
He said good evening back.
Brilliant. Love that. Okay, I want you to tune into quickly. And guys, while you're waiting, I want you to tune into one color that you feel that connects to you. And then we're going to work around you. We're going to tune into you and go from there. Okay. How do you want to do this, Jane? Do you want to go first or shall I?
No, I want you to go first.
Love that. Okay, here we go then. Are you ready? Oh, we've got more people coming on. We have Laurie as well and Jackie. Oh, great fun. So we're going to have some fun tonight. Okay, I'm going to give you the colors, Carol, while you're sitting there tuning in. Now, I know you a little bit. You're in my circle. Purple is really important for you at the moment in time. You've got quite a large amount, shall we say, of purple around your shoulders, going down the front of you as well. Also, interestingly, you've got your clairaudience is starting to work. Now, I know this of you, but there's a vibration of self-doubt around that as well. You've got a lovely yellow mixing in with that purple, and I feel there's a little bit of self-doubt around that. Would you understand this? There's a little bit of self-doubt with your clairaudience.
Yes, I'm getting a lot of ringing. A lot of ringing.
It's interesting how it's manifested with the colors around your ears. Okay. Also, that's interesting. And have you had a problem with your third eye recently? Have you been getting some headaches?
A little bit, yes. I've been getting. I've been trying. I think I've been seeing things, but not on purpose.
Okay.
And it's been leaving a strange ache.
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm seeing. That you're kind of getting pressure and aching around the third eye here. Sometimes we are. You don't need to try too hard. You just have it. That's what I'm being told. So, a little interesting story. We've been trying to create this name, Soul Light, and I said to Carol about I've been trying to create this name, and Carol said, "What about Soul Light?" So we already had it. So it's really interesting that Carol tuned into us. What are you getting with the colors, Jane?
Okay, so Carol, I started to write things down. I received pink as soon as you came on, just pink. And then I heard I just heard Spirit say this might make you cry, that the angels are swaddling you in pink. So you're just full on pink. I feel anxious. I don't know if it's coming from you or if it's coming from somebody else that's on, but my heart is like, just going at it. And my hands, especially my right hand, is becoming quite sweaty, like fearful.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing this. You just did this. So I don't know if people can see my hands, but I was doing this and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that?
I think I'm feeling emotional and swaddled because I felt that connection with Teresa that was on. I could feel her vibration and the love. I'm just tingling all over.
So I'm still trying to figure out what this is, but I feel a little tiny bit dizzy with you. So there's something, and maybe like I'm still trying to figure out what dizziness means besides being blonde, but but there's something off balance within your energy field, or something that you have taken in or on from another that you need to give back to them. So I don't think it's your husband. I just saw him walk in. I don't feel it's him. I don't even know him, but I don't feel it's him. But it's like Spirit shows me objects, and it would be like, I don't know, like a little tin size. So it's not very big, but I feel like you've just, because you're a kind and caring person, you've just pulled it into your energy field.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, it's nothing bad. But as soon as you release that or give it back to the person, or energetically speaking, then your energy just stabilizes. As soon as I said that, it's like, oh, thank goodness, the dizziness is gone. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
So,
thank you, Carol. Awesome.
Yes,
thank you.
Okay,
Take care. So next up is Steph.
Oh,
Hi, Steph. How you doing? Okay, we've got a few more people to see. So, okay, I'm really interestingly, Steph. I don't know who it is in this group tonight, but I'm actually feeling someone's pregnant or very close to it.
Look at her face drop.
I really can feel someone. Either there's some. Yeah, it's really beautiful because I can feel this energy of a newborn coming in. I can feel it. I am. You've just cut your. We can't hear you. So can you see it? It should be. There you go. Can you hear us now? No. Okay. Sort that out. And we'll come back to you. Oh, we've got you. We can hear you. Yay!
Yes.
Oh, I'll take my earphones out then.
Your mum is laughing, by the way,
Okay.
or having kittens. I'm not sure, but I'm very much aware. Also, what's really around you at the moment? I didn't realize this. You overthink quite a lot. There's a very bright yellow around you. You tend to overthink things quite a lot.
Mm.
What color are you going to give us? What color do you feel connected to?
Well, you say yellow. I was thinking yellow, but like the sunshine, like when it's then going to sunset, like the golden yellowy color, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It does. There's a real sense of you overthinking things with that color. Okay. Absolutely. The other thing is, there's whether this is for you or not, it is for you. There's a real sense of kind of like a health kick for you. There's a real urge to do more, to get back on it. So I'm so sorry. I am really feeling this is beautiful. And also there's a beautiful green ray coming in around you. There's a real sense of change around you. I don't think it's going to start until the beginning of next year. I can feel it coming in and around you. There's a real sense of next year, new opportunities, etc., etc. But there is this that I can really feel it really strongly. Another child. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Well, good. Because Mum will be pleased. I'm sure of that.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Steph, for you, I got peach. I know peach is a fruit. It's not. What was that? It's not necessarily a color. And as Paul was giving his messages to you, all I could see was that Spirit is specifically showing me this peach that you would buy, the fruit. And it was ripe, it was juicy, it was ready to be eaten. And what I could see was just this peach, and then the sun shining down, like enhancing the peach. And I wrote peach, juicy, fresh spring. So I feel like, and it's like when you bit into the peach, the juice sprayed out. So I feel like something, I don't know, but something is happening in the springtime that is going to be new, abundant, juicy, vibrant. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly. That's juicy, So, the spring is coming in for you. It's, and I just heard you're ready. She's ready.
Oh.
So,
Okay. Fair enough.
Love that. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one up is Serena. I'll see you soon, Steph. Bye.
Oh, do you want me to go?
Yeah, so I'm going
Oh, okay, I'll leave. Try.
I'll take you out.
Hilarious.
Hi, Serena. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Serena.
Hello.
How you doing? Okay, what was the color you felt connected to?
Purple.
Oh, well, you know, purple is a very, very, how can I say this, spiritual color in terms of spiritual perception.
Okay.
But it can also be, are you feeling do you feel at times you could be a little bit oversensitive?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so purple is a very strong color. Obviously, clairvoyance as well comes in and connects to the purple ray. The other thing I'm being made aware of is your throat center. Now, do you struggle with people but you believe that don't listen to you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Struggle to have your voice heard or your opinion heard?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because I can feel that around you. There's almost like a lack of blue within that. And interestingly, looking over your shoulder, you have a beautiful green couch or chair that you're sitting in, and that also for you. Now I know I read for you recently, and I know what's coming up for you. I know what you guys have been up to and what you're going to be up to this winter, and that is also coming in. There's a lot of baby themes today. There really is. Okay, I know there's going to be potentially a fuel crisis and there's going to be no lights, but we know what you guys are up to. Okay. Also, now this is really interesting. I've been shown that you are also not only you're changing certain things around you, as in physically manifesting, but you're also changing within as well. This beautiful pink ray within you. I kind of feel you're opening up as well. You're being more sensitive. You're not. You're showing your sensitivity as a strength rather than a vulnerability.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, and that's beautiful. And I would encourage you to work on that at this particular time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you.
So, Serena, for you, so your energy changed quite dramatically, or I felt your energy changed quite dramatically when you came in, and you feel like I didn't necessarily get a color, more rainbows, which I guess that's a lot of colors, but more rainbow, and it feels like, and forgive me, I don't know the colors in sequence, but it's like you've tried orange, you've stood on orange, you've kind of dove into orange, then you're like, nah, it's not for me. Then you stand up to red and then you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. But you've been going into the colors, multi-layers of colors.
Yeah.
To me, your energy feels like you're grounded, but dare I say it, and I'm going to, because I'm me, you're almost too grounded. It's like, when people say, oh, go, well, here, they say, go stand in the ocean. I suppose you could go into the ocean where you were, but, go into the forest, hug a tree, ground your feet. There's only so much of that you can do. And I feel like you're too grounded. So where it's like, lighten up. Do you yeah, because I'm like, oh, it's like she has a diver's belt on you, that the energy is too heavy, not that you're too heavy, but you're too grounded.
I've got my husband just looking at me and he's going,
oh, yay. Husband approval. Awesome. Do you second guess yourself? Like, does a thought come in and then you're like, you go with it and then suddenly you think about it and think, oh, geez, no. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, that's part of it. That's part of it. That's part of it. So whatever comes in, run with that.
Okay.
And I find that when you lighten up the groundingness, it's very interesting because doing this work, some people I have discovered are like ballerinas. They stand on point, and that is enough grounding for them. That's me. That's enough. And then some people, I see them as knee deep in the earth, and they're way too grounded. And I feel like that's what you are. Okay. So they like to pull your legs out of the earth and just do them. I was going to say the minimal, but the minimal to medium amount.
Yeah.
And once you do that, I feel that you'll stop second guessing yourself.
Okay. No,
I
that's
heard
really
she'll trust.
Yeah. Okay then. No, that's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. You're welcome.
Take care, Serena. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Now we have the lovely Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry, I'm in bed.
You know what? We've had people in baths. We don't mind. We love the idea that you're joining in with us anyway. So welcome to Spiritual Talk. Okay. Did you get the opportunity to tune in? Did you feel a color around you?
No, my first reaction is green, but I don't actually feel any colors right now.
Okay. It's interesting because I do feel you feel cut off. I feel there's a real sense of you kind of like struggling to get out of bed in the morning, having that kind of sense of almost like a drudgery. Does this make sense? The other thing is, I'm not sure if I'm picking up on you or somebody else. I've got a gentleman in the spirit world and he's trying to talk to me as well. That's trying to connect with you. Would you understand either a father or father-in-law in the spirit world?
My dad's just passed
on
Thursday.
I'm sorry. I was going to say there's a very heavy heart around you, and I could pick that up around you. Okay. So I'm so sorry. I want to kind of put you in that pink ray and put all the love in the world around you. All right. There's also a real sense of, first of all, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Okay. But secondly, there's a real sense of, I'm very much aware of this light around him. He had a really good sense of humor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know he struggled towards the end. I'm not going to talk about passing, etc., etc. I know this is very raw for you, but he makes me aware that it's his sense of humor at times that would have kept him going through difficult times. And I know also that that's something that you also have within your heart. I kind of feel like it's his legacy to you in those dark times. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll leave.
So it's actually there then coming through because he didn't believe in any of this.
No, you honestly, if I had £1 for every time someone said, "Oh, I didn't believe in this," recently I did a reading for a lady that her grandfather had passed, and she'd seen me a couple of times, and he actually said to me, "Yeah, I told her not to waste her money," and she just laughed. I can't believe it. He did say that, she said. So yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. But yes, they will communicate even though they didn't believe in it.
Okay.
And okay. I know he's talking about someone else struggling with his passing because he's making me aware of somebody else struggling with the passing, a recent passing, and he wants to be thought of and spoken of. Okay. Okay, I'll leave it there. I could go on all night otherwise because I can feel him coming in really strongly.
Oh, really?
Okay. Sorry, Jane, go on.
No, it's okay. So, Jackie, for you, when you first said that, no, you couldn't feel a color, I saw a single red rose come in right behind your back.
Oh.
And it was just one. And I wrote red rose behind your back. And I feel that it is from your father. Just he's saying that he's infusing it into your back. So obviously around just give it to me.
Do you know symbolically, spirit always use the red rose for love. Whenever they want to say how much, if they can't say it, if you don't pick it up or hear it, they'll give you the red rose for that symbolism of love.
Oh, well, that's weird because I went and bought a little posy of flowers and put them on Mum's grave the other day and put one red rose in the middle for him. So yeah, that's
beautiful.
Nice.
That is beautiful.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Jackie, I hope you have a good night's sleep. I hope that brings some comfort as well.
Lovely.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, you take care.
Thank you. How do I get out? You'll have to knock me out.
I'll knock you out. I know. I feel bad though doing that, but I'll knock you out.
Literally, please.
Okay, take care. Thank you for coming on.
Bye.
Bye. We have the lovely Tanya. Tanya, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
So Tanya was a guest on our show.
Oh,
I was.
So okay, so what color did you pick up for yourself, Tanya?
Well, very strongly I had purple, but I had blue as well.
I'm going to have some fun with this. Now, I know you've gone into singing in your mediumship, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah, which is really interesting because I'm aware of 3 colours: the purple, the blue, but the blue goes into a higher blue, so like a sky blue for communication. But also, interestingly, whether you know this or not, you are working with the angels.
Fabulous, thank you.
I'm seeing a beautiful yellow ray that's coming. Sorry, silver ray that's coming in around that, and it's also intuitive. A lot of it is that higher sense of mediumship, the claircognizance. You just know. Okay,
yes.
And that's where that silver ray comes in around and penetrates in via the blue, which goes into a bit of an indigo as well. So I would eat my hat if you didn't know what your past or some of your past lives were.
Well, that's why I'm very interested in the Akashic record reading, because I've never done one, and I'd love to dig deep.
Yeah, well, you have certainly, I think your ability comes from, yes, ancestral, but also yourself and your experience of past lives, what you've done, and what you've learned from past lives, you're bringing into this life, most definitely.
Right, great.
Okay, so that would be very interesting for you. The other thing is, I'm being told you've got a new guide coming in, and I think I know that already.
With my guide, did you say?
You've got one in particular, a new guide coming in.
Oh, I don't know about a new one. I have been feeling different energies because I do work with the angels quite a lot. I've been asking for some different signs this time.
Ah, interesting. Well, I'm sorry about the feedback, by the way. I'm sorry about that. What I'm being told is you will know very, very soon. Now, it's really difficult. I mean, I could sit here and tell your guide this, that, and the other, but it's for your journey. It's your journey. But I am being told you will know. There is a real sense that this guy is a real entertainer, a really good sense of humor with them as well. And you will know that because you kind of connect with this person.
Because I what? Sorry.
You connect with this guy. I kind of feel you've had a past life with them as well. So again, it ties into your past life thing, the wanting to get to know your past life. I believe there's a link there.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. It is interesting, yeah, absolutely. And no, I'm not going to see. I've been told as well. You want to know what one of your lives are?
Go on.
Egyptian. Are you drawn to Egyptian lifestyle?
Egyptian. I love ancient history, other planets. I was watching something the other night about aliens, which, Egyptians. So, yeah, I love all different things like that.
Yeah. What did you get, Jane?
So, Tanya, to me, you feel extremely powerful. So I don't know who you are. But to me, I don't know who anybody is, but but you feel very powerful to me. I feel like you take people's breath away, but in a good way. So to me, you feel very magical. And Spirit's like, if she wanted to reach into the core of the earth and pull out the magma, she would.
Oh, thank you.
That's how you feel to me. I heard that she's a force to be reckoned with, but in a very good way. And I find it's very interesting because the voice feedback is a lot different. Like what's going on with our voices, it's a lot different with you on than with other guests coming on.
Oh, right.
Sort of thing. So Spirit's like, I think she has a part to play in that as well because of your power.
Connection. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, Jane. Interestingly, Tanya, in a few weeks' time, we got a James called Peter Goddard. I think it's Peter. Sorry, Peter, if I've got the wrong name. Yeah, no, sorry, Paul Goddard. I should remember that name, shouldn't I? He is a regression specialist. And he's going to do it on air. So he's a hypnotist and also a regression specialist. So it's certainly going to be an interesting night with that one.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too. Great show as always, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. The next we have the lovely Zoe. Hello, Zoe. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. It's interesting you're in that lovely big onesie.
It's a hoodie.
Oh, it's a hoodie. It looks like you're a big cuddly bear.
Yeah, you look like a teddy bear.
Yeah. So I love the fact that people come on their dressing gowns and their colours in. I love it. I really do. Okay, so quickly, I know straight away the colours that you're presenting. You can tell me in a minute. I'll ask. Did you pick up a colour, by the way?
Pink.
Oh, see, you just killed it. I was just about to tell you, you are completely surrounded in a rose pink. There is a lot of self-healing going on at the moment. Okay. And I still keep getting the green ray. Oh, that's interesting. Are you looking at moving?
Possibly.
Yeah, there's I feel with the green ray coming in, because it's not here yet, because I kind of see influences of color that come towards people, and when they're with them and blending with them, then it starts to affect them. And sometimes people will start to notice their ideas and thoughts and feelings changing around a certain aspect of their life. That's when that color is starting to influence you. Okay, very much at this moment in time, it's about recharging your batteries. It's about self-love, self-care. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You just be yourself and love yourself. Okay, because there's a lot of people around you that love you. And you need to know that. And it's really important that you hear that. Okay, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. We don't like to listen to that. Okay, but I'll leave that with you. What did you get, Jane?
So Zoe, I received soft pink. Like, you remind me, you look like a teddy bear, and I feel like people that you give a lot to other people, but it's time for you to receive the love back. And so, like, I love teddy bears. I grew up with teddy bears. I was never a dolls person, but a teddy bear for sure. And so even now at the age that I am at, which I will say, even I still have my childhood teddy bears, and every once in a while, just to reconnect to my childhood, like, I will hug my teddy bear. So I feel like people need to, or people that will say, need to hug you, their teddy bear, to bring the love back in. And I feel like as well that this is a time of rest for you, that Spirit's like, you needn't do anything. It's time for you to rest, and not because it's late there, but that it's time for you to rest.
Also, Zoe, you've been experiencing some spiritual interference, shall we say? You've been picking up some sort of psychic interference, like being touched, or I'm being shown that, being told that you that they're letting you there, they're there and around you, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm also being told coming into Christmas is a really important time. Again, I've just heard the word nesting, which is really interesting, which is about, that self-love, looking after yourself around the home, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, you're not working, or are you part-time working at the moment?
I'm off at the minute.
Yeah, I kind of say I want you to stay off for some time with that, a little bit longer. If you're thinking about going back to work, don't do it just yet. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Your partner be like, Paul, you're joking, aren't you? So, I'll leave that with. I'll do.
Thank you so much.
Lots of love from Spiritual Talk,
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, Zoe. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Lots of love from Spiritual Talk. That didn't make sense. I meant from you myself, Jane.
It makes sense. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's good. Okay, we've saved. We've got one more to come on. This poor lady, she's been in and out. Her feed keeps dropping, then it comes back in, then it comes out. So, hello, Lou.
Hi.
Hi.
Being patient. Well done.
Oh, it's all right. Oh, it's been a pain.
Yeah. The other thing, I'm gonna give. Did you pick up the color that you was feeling?
Lilac.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, Jane, you go first then.
So I know lilac is a plant, and I wrote down cherry blossoms. So to me, you feel like cherry blossoms. Like where I live, we have cherry blossom trees, and they're absolutely beautiful when they bloom, but they're also very rare, And so I feel that you are very rare, that you don't see I know you're nodding your head, but I feel that you don't see yourself as that, or you don't allow that to come in. It's like you have to pat yourself on the back. I saw you lick your lips, and I heard you're going to make her cry. And I'm like, good. I think that I feel like you're very, very sensitive to energies, like extremely sensitive to energies. But I feel like this is, I've discovered that only certain people can carry that extreme sensitiveness to it. Oh, no, I can't hear her. She's gone.
No, I'm telling you, songs go out the room.
Oh, I'm like, oh no, she's frozen. Okay. That's hilarious.
Never work with children and animals. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that. Like, you are extremely sensitive. I think you pick things up easily, and you may not, Spirit's like, she picks things up easily, and she may not know where to put them down. So you just put them into your pockets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've literally been given a lot of red, and it's about energy, and it's also about creativity. Okay, some orange in there as well, but there's a real sense of being grounded, and again, there's a real sense. Yeah, I can keep getting the same thing about you being grounded and needing that at this moment in time. The other thing is, I'm trying not to put in my mind. I've read for you about 4 or 5 times, haven't I? I'm trying to disconnect from what I know about you at this moment in time. But there's, again, I keep getting the same thing about the red and feeling grounded and being connected. And also, I keep getting that yours is not your burden to carry. Okay, it's not your burden to carry. I've just heard a message from upstairs. And that's interesting as well. But I do believe what's going to happen here, but your words tend to heal people. Okay, you're going to start to open in that aspect, kind of like being there, being that person that people will come to. And okay, thank you. And you're very down to earth and straightforward, which is why I keep getting the being grounded, being centered, but also drawing on that energy, drawing on that. Okay. I'm sorry if you can hear whistling, guys. We're sorry about any technical problems tonight. I'm glad you've all borne with us. It's been brilliant. Okay. Any questions, Lou?
No, not really. No.
The only thing which is really interesting, and I know, again, you sit in my circle as well, you also have a lot of purple around you. So, but I kind of feel you have so much purple. There's a lot of purple that sometimes there's trying to get the balance right with that.
Right.
Okay. And
do you see the purple out?
Yeah, no, I kind of feel like you can sometimes be over emotional with that.
Right.
I'm not saying taking that out on other people or being oversensitive, but over emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that was all right, guys. We've had a fantastic night. Do you want to stay there for a minute while we say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could actually say goodbye to everyone on our behalf, Lee.
Yes.
Oh, no, sorry. No, it's okay.
Well, we are back. We're not back next week, guys, because we have a week off. I believe we might be showing the interview that I did with Dominic Zenden, who is a gentleman that naturally sees auras. So we may air that while we're away. But we'll be back the week after with another great interview, Jane, won't we?
Yes, we will. And are we going to, there's a note here from Carol about who the winner should be of the reading.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
Do you know, I do it so often, I get carried away. And Carol's recommended someone. She's connected into someone. So Melody Hart, if you're listening, congratulations, you've won a free half-hour reading with Jane.
Yes, you have.
Okay. How can she connect with you, Jane?
She could email me. Do you want me to say my email?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so my email address is angelwingreading@gmail.com. One wing and one reading.
Brilliant. That's well done. Okay, so guys, we'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.